Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to episode 57 of the Mustache Ride podcast. That's the Dirty Tooth. I'm Boba Fett. And today is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. I don't think that's something Boba Fett would normally say, but tonight is a little different because
Hmm.
it's not Boba Fett. It was me, Sherman Cool, the
What?
whole time.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Whoa. I thought
Yep,
you were
that's
Boba Fett
right.
for sure.
I know I was trying to fool everybody, but that
Damn
mask
it.
was pretty uncomfortable, so I didn't want to wear it anymore. May the 4th be with you, Tooth. How are you?
And also with you. Uh
Yes,
yeah, that's what it says. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Happy Saturday.
I'm good, man. It's Saturday. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling like I
Mm,
didn't get enough sleep last night.
mm,
But I did actually,
yeah.
and so it's kind of a weird back and forth that I'm
Mm,
having.
yeah.
But I'm glad to hear you're doing all right.
Yeah. I'm sort of the same way. I always feel like I'm tired, but and it's specifically when I get too much sleep, I think. That's what it is.
Maybe that's my issue. I got like 9 hours of sleep.
Too
I was trying to
much.
overcompensate because I stayed up
Yeah.
till like 4 last night. But this is Mustache Ride Podcast. We record this show live twice a month, every other Saturday night, for your viewing pleasure over
Mm,
on twitch.tv/Mustache Ride Podcast and youtube.com/at Mustache Ride Pod. We'd love if you guys joined us live because we record these episodes live every single time.
I'm not doing
Live.
it for my health.
I am.
Oh.
And I feel big and strong.
Oh, okay. So I
hmm
should sit up straighter then. Okay.
We have a lot to talk about tonight, though.
Yeah.
We finished up our big segment, making a video game. We're just waiting on our developers to finish it up, but we're not going to
Yes.
be talking about that anymore. But I figured tonight we could talk about how it's May the 4th, and
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is a big cultural thing. You know what I mean?
Very culturally sensitive. No.
Sensitive,
Popular.
significant, perhaps.
Significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd get there in
but
the end.
but what's your history with Star Wars? If I know you at all, I know you're a fairly big Star Wars fan, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen all the Star Wars movies aside from the latest one, whatever the most newest one is. I can't tell you what the name of it is. Um, I am not like a diehard Star Wars fan. I'll put it this way: I don't have a Star Wars Funko Pop. I even looked for one before the episode because I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, I'll just show the Star Wars fun." I don't have one. Um, I like the Mandalorian. I would say that I'm sort of not in the realm of Star Wars fan because I like all the offshoot shows that they do, and I feel like real Star Wars fans would cut my head off with a lightsaber.
Mm.
So
Well, I feel like we can keep this pretty short because I'm not a huge Star Wars fan either.
yeah,
I've seen most of the movies. I have a Stormtrooper bobblehead, so I guess I got that on you.
nice.
Um,
You have a Boba Fett
but
mask.
I have a Boba Fett mask and costume.
I have a
It's
lightsaber. That's
that's hey,
not a
you
real lightsaber though.
I wouldn't have a weapon if we were to fight,
That's
and so
true.
you would win.
Yeah.
Like, I truly don't know the Force, so but I like Star Wars. I've seen a lot of the movies. There's so many offshoots, like you're talking about. There's so
Yeah.
many shows. There's so many there's like the Clone Wars animated series that's pretty
Yeah.
long and robust. I haven't seen a lot of that stuff, and so I'm not like a big Star Wars fan, but I do have some Star Wars memories. I think when like I wish I knew the name, the new one of the most recent trilogy,
Mm.
the first of the new trilogy,
Yeah.
episode 1, I guess, right? Because episode 4 was the first trilogy, and then whatever.
I don't know.
I
I
I
don't know.
saved up money. I knew it was coming. I saved up money, and I was like, my parents love Star Wars. I'm gonna take them to go see this new movie. I had $20. It wasn't enough for 3 tickets to the movies, so my
Yeah.
parents, luckily enough, they had the money to pay the difference. And then we watched the movie. I was pretty enthralled. It's a big bombastic movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way through, I look over, my dad's asleep, and my dad's a snorer, so it's like
Yeah.
a constant like, hey, hey,
Wake
stop.
up. Wake up.
Yeah. And
That's
then
funny.
and that's like it kind of tipped me off. Maybe that's what really kind of took the wind out of my sails in regards to Star Wars because
Yeah.
I'm just not a huge fan. But it's always cool. Star Wars is badass.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker. That's the most recent one. So that's like
Okay.
2019, episode 9. Haven't seen that one, but I saw the other ones and those were good. But I like the Battle for Endor, the Ewok movie. I don't know if you've
Ooh.
seen, but that movie's
Oh.
you should watch that. Well, I don't know if it aged well. It's like in the 80s. But it was sick. It's all about the Ewoks, the Battle for Endor.
Sounds awesome. I love
sounds-
Ewoks.
yeah.
They're cute little things.
Do you have a favorite character like Star Wars?
I mean, call me lame. I always liked. Okay. I like Han Solo. I think he's cool. He's a cool guy, and he nobody gives him. You give him crap, he gives it right back. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I always was curious why nobody ever liked Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah.
I was like, he's like a funny guy. He's a funny guy. What the heck? And
He's
so I liked him, and then I saw
Yeah.
the discourse. Everybody thinks he's like the worst.
It's kind of dumb,
and I guess-
but
I don't
He's
know
funny.
why, but I think he's a funny, goofy dude. So
Yeah.
I liked him. That's my 2 cents though on that.
big
What about
Yoda,
you?
big Yoda person. Just
Yeah.
like I like that he's sort of a dick. You know what I mean? But it's because he's old, so he's an old person, so he's allowed to do that.
And he's a master.
And he's a master.
he's kinda got-
So
yeah.
he's got it. So big Yoda fan, and then I like the Ewoks, sort of all the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Chewbacca, not an Ewok, but like
Oh, come on.
Chewbacca, easy.
Come on. Yeah.
Fuzzy,
There's a lot of good
fuzzy-
characters,
Yeah, there's
dude.
so many good characters. Star Wars is awesome, but I'm
Yeah.
not like I don't have a tattoo or anything like that. A shirt.
I like
I have a shirt.
another.
I have a t-shirt.
Okay, there you go.
Star Wars t-shirt. Yeah.
There's always this like talk about how the first trilogy in hindsight is garbage.
Mm.
And I again, I always thought they were pretty cool. I thought those movies were cool. The special effects were awesome. And I don't know, maybe if there's like nitty gritty, story stuff that doesn't quite compute or something within them. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I liked those as a youth, and maybe if I saw them today, I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't think that, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I just take it for what it is. Like all the Star Wars movies, sick, in space, fighting. There's magic, right? The Force, and there's lightsabers, and they're like ping, ping, ping. They're like shooting
Oh,
like space bullets back at each other. It's kind of sick.
space bullets.
Yeah, the space bullets, whatever they're called.
Yeah. Well, anyway, may the 4th be with you, Tooth, and also to you, chat, and everybody watching this. I hope you guys are having a good, safe May the 4th. Go watch
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch a Star Wars movie tonight. Maybe, probably not, but maybe.
They're kind of long. If you don't want to stay
Yeah.
up till 4 a.m., I don't know about that.
I don't, and I still need to finish the Fallout show. I'm like 2 episodes left, and I'm really savoring them. I'm really trying to make sure I watch them at a time where I have plenty of time. I'll stay awake and I'll watch the whole thing, and so I've really been enjoying the Fallout show. So that's kind of where my mind is at.
I really wanted to watch an episode before we did this. I really
Yeah.
did. I was like, I really did. I didn't.
But you didn't.
I didn't do that, but I really did. So I just want you to know that it's not because I don't want to, but I didn't do it. But
Sure.
I'll watch one before the next episode.
You know what they say? It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
But in this case, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. Actually, it was totally useless that you even said that at all. So
No, it's
yeah.
the thought that counts. It's the
Nah,
thought that
nah.
counts.
I
Don't get
believe that.
don't get this guy a birthday present or anything because he's gonna be like, what is this? What is this pile of shit?
I mean, if it's not a good gift, it's not a good gift. Come on.
Listen.
Look, all right. So we have a Patreon. Check it out. We've slowed down a little bit. We need to get back on the horse and continue uploading there. We've slowed down a little bit, but
because you haven't given us
join
any
the
money.
Patreon.
Give
Join
us money.
the Patreon. and we'll be doubly incentivized to post there. But we also just need to post there anyway to
Yeah,
get
that's true.
to get some
Yeah.
content on there.
Yeah.
But we have YouTube videos out. We have other ones that are in the books, in not in the books, in the works.
Works.
And we're excited to share those with you guys. They'll all
Yeah.
be on Patreon for a week before they go out on YouTube. So if you want early content, check out the Patreon. Also, check out the Discord, join the Discord, talk in there, let us know what you think of the show, let us know topics or things that you want us to talk about. Discord's probably the best way to do it. You can also hit us
Absolutely.
up at mustacheridepod@gmail.com if you'd like, if you're old and want to use email, that's cool too. But yeah, that's bing bang boom.
Yeah.
Tooth, what you been up to the last couple weeks?
I have been trying to finish up Wolfenstein. I beat it.
Yeah.
I beat it.
The first one, the New Order.
New
right?
Order, and it was sick. I think like the story was pretty good. Like just like I don't know, like the alt history thing was like really interesting. Like I didn't imagine it taking such a big turn. Like Nazi Germany like ruling the entire globe for 16 years post-war. But I think it sets up something that's like really sick. Like I like that. Like I don't know. It's an old game. Like, am I spoiling it? You know what I mean? Like if you're worried about me spoiling Wolfenstein New Order, like stop watching right this second. But the setup at the end where he like the death's head is like his like gets blown up and like just Blazkowicz is like just laying there and he calls in the nuke strike like on the building that he's laying in. I'm just like, oh my god, this guy's crazy. He can dual wield sniper rifles. It's kind of crazy. Like everything is a little nonsensical throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It just like makes it awesome. And it's sort of like a weird like run and gun. It's like but like with a story. I don't know. It's like
fairly difficult. Those games are hard, dude.
Yeah, it is really hard. Like I felt like there was some points where I was just like, why are there so many people? And then you would like walk in and there'd be a gun and you'd be like, oh, cool. And then you die and you respawn, that gun wasn't there anymore. I'd be like, what is this RNG? Just put it in the same place. Just put it there.
Don't die.
I know. That's what I need to do is not die, but I just died anyway. There were just some parts where you just like don't have enough health and you're not looking around enough because you're just trying to like mow down Nazis.
Yeah. That's the best part of the game is just being able to slaughter Nazis.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
I will say there was one part that I was like highly dissatisfied with. In Death's Head, like sure, like that was satisfying to kill him. But the woman, I can't remember her name, but like she's got the
blonde short hair.
Yeah,
woman.
short hair with the little pet guy that she has. Peeping like you meet her on the train in the beginning. Her and her little pet boy.
You lost me.
I can't remember who it is. She's like short haired. She's insane. She's like whipping people.
She's like the German,
yeah,
like other leader other than like Hitler or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know her name. I don't remember a little blood boy she has with her or anything. But
it's not a boy. I guess
I remember
he's like
her being messed up.
He's like an adult, but he acts very like boy like, and he follows her around and worships him. You kill him.
Ugh.
You kill him in the beginning, you like gut him, and she's on camera watching it, which is like kind of crazy metal, but it's like I think I wanted to kill her. I didn't get to, and that made me upset. But maybe in the other games you kill her.
I think the Wolfenstein New Order, the view of an alternate history where Germany won, where the Axis power won in World War II, and where that would have led humanity, led all of us. Really cool, really a really interesting take on the whole matter, and I'd like to think that somebody would stand up and make something happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a TV show, The Man in the High Castle. It's a dystopian alternate history sort of TV show that it's on Amazon Prime. I never watched it, but people were telling me about it. But it's there's like the axis of power becomes Germany and Japan, and they rule after victory. But overall, I thought this game was kind of sick. Like
Yeah.
it was insane. Like and you chose it, and it was a good choice, I think. So I think it was a good story. We'll move on to the newer ones at some point, or the next iteration of the story. I don't know when yet, but pretty sick, I think. Yeah.
Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, the second one. I mean, it's like everything the first one had, but more and better.
But better.
It's so sick, dude. So sick.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I get killed the second German woman. That's sort of my goal, I think. And if not, then I'm gonna write somebody and figure out how we can get like at least a DLC for New Order.
Yeah, write a letter.
Just like the hunt for whatever her name is. I can't even remember her name, but
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. She needs dead immediately. But great game. I also played through several of the Fine Cats series, so like Cats in Paris, but I did Cats in Italy and Cats in China and Cats in Maple Hollow or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but they're fun. And I will say that I played one. It was like Maple Hollow or something like that, and it was like nice and cozy, and it was fun. Then I got to Cats in China, and it was so hard. It was so detailed. Everything was so intricate and so hard to find them. Like I swear, it took me 40 minutes probably to like find.
Yeah, because it's just a big black and white.
It's just a big black and white
paper drawing,
hand drawn graphics, like, and you're trying to find 100 cats. Like it's 100 of them in every one, and man, like chat was helping. Like it was fun. But then we played Cats in Italy, and it was like boom, 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 boom. We just like roasted through it. So
back to easy mode.
Yeah, if you're looking for hard mode, Cats in China, they're all on sale right now on Steam. I think it's like $4, and you get the whole thing. And there's coloring books if you're into that.
Cool.
So yeah, I've been playing those, and then I did a recording, and I'm currently in the process of editing a YouTube video that's a special project that I'm working on that will release as soon as I edit it. So
can we get a sneak peek? Not like of seeing it, but like
just like
give me one word.
Found footage.
Okay, we got 2 words, chat. Holy, okay.
It's a found footage short film, and I don't want to give too much away, but there were multiple people involved. There's an interview that happened as a part of it. There's some voiceover that happens. Like it's kind of cool. So
that's exciting. Cool.
I'm working on it right now. So it's something new. I've never done it before. I haven't really seen it done necessarily, like in this level that I'm doing it. So I'm excited to edit through it. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it's fun. It's fun. Recording it was fun. So we'll see.
It's a good start.
Yeah, but pretty good. What about you? You killed any zombies lately, or Nazis? I keep thinking zombies in my head because Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
Instead of saying Nazis.
This isn't on my list, but yeah, last night I was playing Nazi zombies. I was playing Black Ops 3 with Fatal Tone, and we were killing Nazi zombies. So good call.
Yeah, you did.
We were playing Ascension. We got to round like 19 or 18 or something like that.
Okay.
Just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
So not a full squad, but man, it was like a half hour, 40 minutes of Nazi zombie domination. We were killing them.
Good stuff.
But then we just got overrun. There's so many, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of tough. You start to devolve and you're like trying to just open doors to get out of there. And you're like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah. But on a different note, I played a game called Industria. This game was free on the Epic Game Store for a week. I downloaded it. When I looked at the preview, it looked like Half-Life 2. It looked very Half-Life inspired. And I was like, I like the vibes. I'm a fan of Half-Life 2. That's the only Half-Life I've played. I've been told I need to play all the rest of the Half-Life content that's available. But Industria, it's set in whenever the Berlin Wall was about to fall. I don't know the year. I'm not a history buff.
Yeah.
But It's not important really to the story. It's you're like a woman named Nora. You get a call from your coworker. He's like, I gotta go, and she's like, let me help you. He's like, no, stay behind. I gotta go. And you're like, what's going on? You go through basically you go to your place of work, this big machine, go through a portal to try to find your coworker.
Okay.
And it I won't spoil anything else in case other people were able to download it and haven't gotten to it yet. But it's a short game, 3, 4, 5 hours tops, and you're killing robots basically. But it's a fun game, very physicsy, so you can pick up most objects on the ground. And there's some bugs, but it's a pretty game.
Okay.
It's from 2021. Very pretty. Industria 2, the sequel, has been announced. So I don't know. There's no date or anything, I don't think yet. But playing this game, it's very mysterious. There's not answers to every question that you have about this game. You know,
Hmm.
when you beat it, you're like, it makes you think. And I really like games like that. And so I highly recommend and check out Industria for a fun, quick jaunt through a game. First person shooter, bunch of different guns. Um, and
You'll have
it was
to
fun. I had,
you'll
I
have
had
to
a good
pay
time.
for it now though, because you did not get it during the week of the free Epic Games, which is that's
Right.
on you
Um,
though.
but I don't think it's crazy expensive. But
Hmm.
I don't know. You'll have to decide for yourself if 4 to 5 hours of pretty decent game is worth whatever the price is. I haven't looked into it. But yeah, that's Industria. I also played a game called Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom.
Hmm. Does
I
it
started it.
indeed go vroom?
Oh yeah, it goes
Oh.
vroom, bro. It's
Okay.
fun. It makes me think of like Crazy Taxi and like like Super Mario 64 almost.
Okay.
Doesn't that sound crazy?
It does sound crazy. Taxi by itself is sort of crazy,
Yeah.
as the name
It
implies. So
it's like a Crazy Taxi platformer in like a
okay.
Nintendo 64-bit art style almost. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know for sure if that's true, but it looks really pretty, very crisp. Really, the art style is very just it's what they wanted. You can tell it's
Yeah.
very polished and what they wanted. And I'm having a great time. Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom, little indie game. I forget how much it was. I think it's like $15. And I downloaded it on my Steam Deck, and I'm excited to play through that on my Steam Deck, through more of it on my Steam Deck, because that it just seems like a perfect Steam Deck game.
Yeah. Have you been playing a lot
Um,
of Steam Deck games?
I've been playing a lot of Steam Deck. Mostly, I keep going back to Pokemon Black.
Okay.
Like I said last episode, a Pokemon game I haven't played before. I'm playing it on emulator, and
Yeah.
it's just really good. It's just a really good Pokemon game. I'm enjoying it. So yeah,
Cool.
still playing the Steam Deck here and there. I've also recently been looking into, this is like a total change of topic almost, but I've been looking into getting a guitar controller for my PC,
Okay.
something that I can plug into a USB port or plug into an adapter that can plug into a USB port.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of good quality Guitar Hero controller, basically, because I've been getting the itch to play Guitar Hero or Rock
Okay.
Band, or there's a more modern Clone Hero with a bunch of user generated songs and songs to play through. And I don't know, I loved Guitar Hero back in the day. I wasn't crazy good at it. I was playing on hard at my best,
Mm-hmm.
not expert like some people. But I'd love to get there someday. I've looked into getting a guitar controller. They are expensive these days, dude.
Really?
You're looking to pay maybe $80 to $150. 150 is the high end if you want to get like a custom one on Etsy or
Yeah.
something, or you can buy the components for the fretboard and the buttons on the neck of the guitar. And then I was thinking I could maybe 3D print a little ukulele or something to put them in. Like that would be a fun project. But that I don't who's got time for that? I don't have time for that. But I do have a little bit of money, and I might be able to just save
The
myself that time and buy something for myself.
the
So I'm
wireless. I'm looking at a wireless one right now. It's kind of sick.
yeah, wireless though. I've been looking into wired ones because I that would just cut out a little bit more latency, I think. But
Yeah.
maybe I haven't done enough research. Maybe the wireless ones are worth it.
I
But
figure if you're
I'm
not gonna go for a world record or anything, it's probably solid.
and I think in every game you can calibrate the timing. So
Yeah.
I think if you calibrate it right, you're not going to really run into too much of a bad feeling from the latency. So, but yeah, I've been looking into that. I might make the purchase. I might just keep looking into it and never make the purchase. I'm that kind of guy, which I'll just window shop, get that
Yeah.
feeling. I'll get the feeling like I want it, and then I'll just not buy it, save my money, not spend it. But I really like one. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I was never that into Guitar Hero to really. I didn't have any friends with Rock Band, so like.
Rock Band's garbage to me.
Well, I feel like that was the cool part is like playing with your friends, and I didn't have that. So like Guitar Hero by itself is just sort of like I don't know, like you can play up until a certain point, but once you get to hard, unless you're willing to grind Guitar Hero, which I'm not and wasn't,
Yeah.
I wasn't getting any better, and it wasn't like a challenging thing like if you wanted to do it. And so I also didn't buy any of the music packs, but
Yeah.
Guitar Hero Arcade was kind of cool. I worked in an arcade for a while,
Oh
and
yeah.
there's two guitars and you play against each other. That was fun.
That's
So
fun.
yeah, that's fun.
I had Guitar Hero. I had a PlayStation 2, and I've had it for so long. And Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock was out for a year or two. I don't know. But one year, I think after tax season, after getting the tax return, my parents bought me that big old rectangular box, Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, with a brand new guitar in it, the game disc, and I was beside myself. It has to be one of the best gifts my parents ever got me, besides a couple consoles and stuff in the past. I was so happy, dude. So I'd sit there. I had a small couch in my room,
Mm-hmm.
right in front of my TV, my CRT wood-lined CRT TV. And so I'd
Nice.
sit there, lean back, put my feet up on the TV, and just grind Guitar Hero. And the good thing about at least Guitar Hero 3 was that there was like a good ramp up in difficulty. So
Yeah.
from easy to medium to hard, it's like as you go through the song list, it kind of teaches you to handle that intensity. So I
Mm-hmm.
eventually got up to hard, but I didn't get up to expert. I think that takes real coordination, dedication. Um,
Yeah, I
but yeah,
did.
all that's just to say, I really want a good Guitar Hero controller. I like it, but
Yeah.
it's not a must.
Just get it. Why not? Play some Fortnite play the Fortnite
That
game.
too. I wonder
What's it called?
if
Fortnite
Fortnite Festival.
Festival. Yeah.
I wonder if any Guitar Hero or controller that works for your PC would work for that. That's
I don't
interesting.
know. Yeah, that could be fun.
I just hated Rock Band guitars because they didn't have a clicky strum
Oh, the
bar.
strum bar thing.
It was soft and flaccid. I hated that. The Guitar Hero one was like click 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 click. Oh,
Yeah.
that felt so good. But anyway, last
Yeah.
thing on my list, I just finished a video that I've been working on for a while. I'm calling it the Birdie Bots Bean Challenge. So a little while back, I don't know, a month and a half ago or something, I had my best friend Fatal Tone come over to my house, and we sat here and did some challenges. A You Laugh, You Lose that you put together for me. Thank
I
you.
did. Yeah.
We played a few different games, and basically whoever lost each challenge would have to eat a random Birdie Bots every flavor bean, which if you don't know, I know, but
Yeah.
if you're watching, if you don't know, it's like those jelly beans from Harry Potter that have all sorts of different flavors, from tutti frutti and candy floss to grass and vomit and rotten egg. And so we went through that, ate random beans, and then we were lucky enough, like, you facilitated this, and we had some bonus beans at the end of it, and it was just a really good time. So I
Yeah.
had to make a video. I was laughing the whole time I was editing it, and I'm really excited to get it out. I got to make a good thumbnail for it. But look out for it on my channel, Sure Man Cool. It's going to be called Birdie Bots Bean Challenge, and it's going to have a really great thumbnail. I don't know what it is, but it's
It's
going to
gonna
have a
be
great one.
awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I don't often I put out videos here and there, but I'm not often really excited about putting them out. Sometimes I just put them out so I can get something out, you know?
Yeah.
But this one I'm really excited about. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, maybe we'll talk about it whenever maybe the next episode.
Yeah, it should be out the next couple days. I want to make sure to
Yeah.
give Fatal Tone a chance to watch it and approve it. Make sure he's not. I don't know. There's nothing about it he doesn't like,
Yeah.
and because he's the only other one in it, and then it'll be live. So yeah,
Hype. That's awesome. Get it
yeah.
out. Content creator.
I'm excited about it. Something else I'm excited about. I've been thinking. You know me. I was talking about Guitar Hero. I've been thinking about old games,
Mm-hmm.
nostalgia,
Mm-hmm.
things that like I've been playing games my whole life, and there's certain milestones of games that I've played that kind of changed my perspective on not only games, video games, but life in general in some way. I just feel like there's a lot of games that really affected me. And
Yeah.
so I figured you and I could create a list and go through 3 to 5 games that made us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm down.
So I'm gonna let you go first because I've been doing a lot of talking.
Okay.
What's the first game that made you who you are today, Tooth?
So I'll go there's a couple games that are like I think I don't know, special for different reasons, but I'll go to one that I think like set the tone for me enjoying like gaming on my own, and it sort of coincides with like my first like real console, like that was mine too. So Halo Combat Evolved, I got it like after release. I got the Xbox, original Xbox, and I got Halo Combat Evolved in 2001. When it released, it was super stoked. Like I was super excited. I remember like leaving my Xbox on all day long while I was at school because I hadn't hit a checkpoint on like a legendary run in Halo,
Mhm.
because if you didn't hit the checkpoint then you couldn't leave and save and go, because you would go back and it was you already killed the two invisible elites and you're like you couldn't go back. And so I loved that, and it was like I think that game like really set it together. I also like played co-op like that game with my dad too, so like we played through the whole Halo, not on legendary, but like we played through it all. I spent hours and hours just like combing over the whole map. I loved everything about it. I think it's like what first got me like excited about like sort of exploring in video games, and then like playing LAN party like shooters together with people like that sort of just like that game like did it. And I think like
Nice.
uh I think the I have another game on my list, and I'll just do two right now and then you can do
That's
two.
fine.
Or I can talk about all of them. I don't know.
Talk about all of them. Just go through your
Yeah.
list. I don't mind. I think that's easier.
So I'll do this next one, and I'll do these ones really close because the second one's Halo 2. And I think Halo 2, like that's when I got internet like for the first time. And so I was suddenly like able to like play online with people and like, you know, break my Xbox headsets and like get upset and like rage. And I remember like playing, I mean, those two games I probably collectively have like more hours in than any game that I've ever played ever in my entire life. Like I probably have like over 4,000 hours in Halo CE and Halo 2. Like
Back when we didn't have responsibility, we had all the
yeah.
time in the world.
When Halo 2 came
Ah,
out, I stayed home from school for a week cuz I was sick.
nice. A week.
Yeah, and so I was sick when it came out. And so that like those things were like I mean like it just like changed everything. Like the maps came out. Like I remember like it's the first time getting in trouble with video games cuz I used my parents' like credit card to buy the map pack, which is
Yeah.
like kind of funny now because it was like $20, and now it's like the DLC is a whole nother cost of a video game most of the time. But it was just a funny moment because I remember like getting him and I was like, I have to play him. Like all my friends are gonna have him. Like I can't play online like if I don't have them. And
Halo
um,
2, you had to get the Hayabusa armor.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about. I
yeah,
think if
dude.
you beat the campaign on legendary, you
I
get the Hayabusa armor
yeah.
for multiplayer. Oh, it was so sick.
Yeah, so I remember playing through all of them, beating them on legendary by myself, beating them legendary co-op. My dad would play Halo 2 also, like he liked that one too. He liked playing Rumble Pit, which was like the free for all like game mode, and so he liked
Yeah.
playing against everybody. But we would always like team up, and he wouldn't like we'd have the same online armor so he wouldn't kill me and I wouldn't kill him, and we'd not win the lobby
Nice.
because we're like I was good enough, but my dad just played like he was just casual. And so it's funny, but that those two games were like, I mean, like so good. Like walking around and like finding all the like hidden things, like getting out of the maps, like finding the super jumps and super bounces and all that stuff. I was like invested in those games, probably
Yeah.
more than any other game that I've been invested in ever. And I think I sort of lost it after Halo 2 because like Call of Duty, like Black Ops and stuff started coming out. And I didn't get as invested in like three or four, and I didn't really like ODST or any of those. But I think like it was it was exciting. Like those two games were exciting, and I don't think I've felt that since those two games, probably, of that like desire to just like sit here and like play the same game like every single day.
Yeah.
I don't need any other disc because this is the game that I play. I remember making like video montages, like of a camera pointed at the screen. Like, and
Oh yeah.
I wish I could find those videos. Like, I don't know where they are. They're on like a SD card somewhere in a landfill,
In the
probably
void.
in the
Yeah.
void. Because I didn't have a computer. I don't know what I was gonna do with it, like ever, if I would have had it. But I
I
remember
think
making like
you knew where you would end up one day. You know, you
I
had
knew.
that inside you to make a video, you know?
Honestly, like I always wanted to go to like MLG like tournaments, but I was too far away. Like I was like
Yeah.
so far away from like being able to go to one. My parents were like, I don't know, I grew up like video games aren't real, like go outside mow the grass. And
Mhm.
not that they made me do that. They were cool with playing video games, but they never saw it as like a job or like or something you could do or something like who developed the games. Like that was something that I had no like I had no context of like what that was. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to do that like
Sure.
way earlier on. Like and or this like way early on probably. And I think I probably did a little bit like recording gameplay like on a camera to send to somebody. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're doing right now. But those two games, those were huge. The next one I had on my list was Pokemon Red. It was like, and it's not specific to Pokemon Red, but all the original Pokemon games, they were like the first games that I beat by myself. Like,
Yeah.
where I like some of them, like I had the little walkthrough guide, but like it wasn't like me like being like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this part. Like, can you do this part? Kind of thing. Like, it was, I beat those games, like grinded through it, built my own like team, like fought every battle. So those games were fun. Pokemon Red stands out a lot, but I think it was also like my first like again one of my first consoles that was mine. Like it was my Game Boy. I didn't have to share it. Like so that was really cool. And then the last two, I have two more, and they're not necessarily games that I think like changed my life in any way, but they're two games that like I remember like core memories from. And so the first one was Super Mario Brothers 3. Um, Believe it or not, you would probably wouldn't know it now, but when my mom was younger, she stayed at home and she was a stay-at-home mom, but at nighttime, like when we were little, she would play the Mario games. Like she would beat the Mario games. So she
Yeah,
was
hell
pretty
yeah.
solid. So I remember playing Super Mario Brothers 3 with my mom, like specifically. And then so it was really cool like playing through those games. Now she's like gets too mad and rages at him to be able to play through them, but back in the day,
Me too.
she had some fast reflexes and she could play those games and she was good at them. Um, Not like world record setting, but it was cool to like play games like that with my parents. Like they weren't like gamers by any means. My mom plays like Facebook slot machines now, like fake
Yeah.
gambling, but uh
But
the
they were
next
encouraging, it seemed.
yeah, yeah.
They didn't like hold you back, it seemed. So
No,
that's
they were
good.
cool. They weren't like video games or the devil's work or anything like that. So uh they were really cool with it. And then the next one was Super Black Bass. It's a fishing game for the Super
Sounds like it.
Nintendo. It's old, but it was a game that like my mom, my dad, and me would all play, and so we would take turns fishing, and were like it was a competition to catch the biggest fish, like whatever the fish was.
That's fun.
It was super fun, and it's an old like Super Nintendo game, so you can imagine like just how crazy it was. But like I feel like as a fishing game, it was ahead of its time. And I don't play fishing games now, but it's comparable to Animal Crossing fishing, probably, but with a little bit more detail. Like you're selecting your bait and stuff like that. But
Cool.
I remember those two specifically, just like playing with my parents, like playing video games, and that's cool. That's a cool thing.
Yeah. I've got a couple of those too, because like the memories playing games with my mom, my dad, are really huge, and it kind of
Yeah.
informs me like spend that time with your kid and play the games like that they're interested in with them, because it sticks with you for life.
Yeah, it does. Like like a bajillion years later, and I still remember like those two specifically, like off the top of my head. And there's others that I remember too, but those two were like the funnest because it was like competitive almost, if you will.
Yeah. Nice.
What about you?
I'm gonna go as chronologically as I can. For
Okay.
me, Pokemon Red, same thing. I mean, I got there's gonna be a couple repeats here, but for different reasons, different whys. But Pokemon Red was kind of like the first Pokemon game I ever played, but it wasn't the one that stuck with me like Pokemon Yellow did.
Okay.
Very,
Yeah.
very similar games for sure.
Yeah.
Pokemon Red, I played with my neighborhood friends. I remember I didn't have the HM Flash, so I went through Dark Cave without Flash, and I was
Oh,
just doing my best to get through it.
yeah.
I
You poor
remember
soul.
I was on the sidewalk with like three other friends. We all had our Game Boys, and I made it out the other side without Flash, and I was like, I made it. I showed everybody. I was like, "Can you believe it?" And they were impressed too. And I was like, for
Yeah.
once, I felt like I had something to show my friends, because they always did everything better. I don't know how, but
Yeah.
and then I played Pokemon Yellow though, and specifically in Pokemon Yellow, throughout the game, you can acquire each starter Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
and so like you get Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and that blew my mind too, because you always had to choose.
Yeah, you had to.
But in this one, you could get all of them and keep them all in your party, and then eventually take out the Bulbasaur or Ivysaur or whatever,
Yeah.
because there's other better Pokemon. But it was just really cool and eye opening to me to show, like, because Pokemon as a Game Boy game was huge. It was a
Oh
whole
yeah.
world, and it really opened my eyes. That's going to be a prevailing theme for my games. Is games that blew my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I had the Super Nintendo cartridge where you could put it in and put your Game Boy game in. And so you could play your
yeah,
Game Boy game. It was like the Nintendo Switch dock. So you could play your Game
yeah,
Boy game on the TV, and that was huge. I think
that's
Yellow is
cool.
probably my favorite, but I liked Charizard growing up. So Red is like the one that I remember
Yeah.
specifically cuz Charizard was badass.
And it always had that, like, compared to blue, it had that red tint.
Yeah.
And then because I remember the first time I put in blue and tried it, I was like, it's blue.
Yeah.
um, another Game Boy game, because this is probably one of the very first games I ever played. I remember I aged up enough to where I saw one of those old off-white Game Boys, the original Game Boy. It was
Yeah.
on like one of my parents, probably my dad's bedside table. I yoinked that thing. I took it. I started playing it. One of the games that we had was Ninja Gaiden Shadow. Yeah, that
This
Game Boy.
guy?
That
Yeah.
guy.
That's my first
I
Game Boy
remember
too.
playing Ninja Gaiden Shadow.
Okay.
And I didn't know the significance of Ninja Gaiden. I didn't know what it would become,
Yeah.
but I knew that in this game, you could play as a ninja, and you swing a sword. And I also know that it was so difficult, and it was like the first time playing games really, but the first time I was faced with something that in a game that I thought I could never beat. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I never did. I got through maybe 2 levels, got into the third level, and then you run out of lives and you have to start all the way over. It's not easy.
Yeah.
As a youth, no idea what I'm doing. But I figured it out enough to have fun and to do better sometimes and worse other times, and get that push and pull. And it really opened my eyes to what games could be in a way, even though I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so it was cool. Ninja Gaiden Shadow, first Ninja Gaiden game on Game Boy that I know of. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I never played the
Um,
Ninja Gaiden games. I like the Summoning Salt video.
well, I know, I got back into Ninja Gaiden with the Xbox 360. There's like Ninja Gaiden the reboot series, Ninja Gaiden Black,
Mm.
which is like they put out Ninja Gaiden. It was way too hard for people, so they put out Ninja Gaiden Black with the Ninja Dog difficulty, which is like very easy, and
Yeah.
that's playable.
Okay.
And so it was fun. But that
Yeah.
was like the reboot on Xbox, and so
Yeah.
that kind of playing those games, Ninja Gaiden 2. I don't think I ever played Ninja Gaiden 3, but it got me to kind of reminisce on my time playing the Game Boy game, and I was like, I got it. Well, I got to get the new one.
Yeah.
Um, so now we get into the games I played with my dad. I played a lot of games here and there with my dad, um, and this is significant because we played the first Resident Evil game, and then
Mm.
Resident Evil Zero. I think we skipped Resident Evil 2 and 3, but after Zero, we played Code Veronica, and then Resident Evil 4, and that's kind of where we dropped off playing games together. But Resident Evil Code Veronica was probably the first Resident Evil game where I didn't sit back and watch my dad. I didn't sit back hugging a pillow, scared, pointing out items and different things that we should do and try while he controls everything. Resident Evil Code Veronica, we each had a different save file. And
Okay.
so I'd watch him play, another time I'd be playing, and eventually I beat the game and he didn't. But I remember when we played, I think I was watching him at this time, but my mom came home from work and she brought in it was like a Prima guide for Resident Evil Code Veronica, because we were so stuck. And
Yeah.
we didn't think, I don't think we had internet, so we didn't look anything up. We probably didn't even think you could look things up like that.
Yeah.
And so we got the guide, the game guide. That's something we know about. We leafed through that thing and finally I beat Code Veronica. And it's really significant to me going from not clutching a pillow to playing it myself, and doing it all myself and facing all those scary things on the screen that Resident Evil has to offer. And man, that was really special for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Let's see. I another one. Eventually, we got our hands on a Dreamcast, and
Nice.
so
Never had a Dreamcast.
one game I played Sonic Adventure. That was a big one for me. But the game that on the Dreamcast that really blew my mind, that I ended up playing together with my sister,
Mm.
was Shenmue.
Okay.
Shenmue, dude, because that game was beautiful. The best graphics I'd ever seen to that point in my life. You go into the convenience store in the game. You can pick up one of the items on the shelf and look at the nutrition facts. It
Mm.
was so detailed.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's like, well, yeah, that's just that's just
Obviously.
what you do to make it a realistic game. But back then, unheard of, and it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it was so real. Um, and I think that game actually, we might have looked some stuff up or had a guide. I forget, but we ended up making it really far in that game and seeing a lot of it. And it's like a Virtua Fighter. That's what the combat is. It's like
Mm.
Virtua Fighter, like
Yeah.
a 3D fighting game. And there's a point in the game where you have to fight off 100 guys, 100 people, and just one after the other, and it's really pretty difficult. And I just remember just pulling my hair out of my head trying to do that. And
Yeah.
it was so much fun. And yeah, Shenmue blew my mind.
That Dreamcast had like a wonky ass controller, didn't it? Like it was the one with the big
It was
controller.
it was kind of like the Duke, like the original
Yeah.
Xbox controller, but it had the color of the original Game Boy, like that off-white, ugly
Yeah.
early computer.
Yeah.
Um, the operating system for the Dreamcast was like basically Windows. It was
Okay.
basically like early Windows.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the first. It was Sega Dreamcast, but it had Microsoft in it, and so I wonder
Mm.
if that really informed Microsoft of what to do
Yeah.
moving forward with their own stuff.
Hmm.
But on the Dreamcast controller, that's where you put the memory card thing. The
Yeah.
memory cards for the Dreamcast had a D-pad and an A and B button and a little screen. And so when you plug it in, it showed
Yeah.
something on the
Okay.
screen, and it was really cool. That
Yeah.
that also
It
blew
was
my
the
mind.
it
I was
was
like,
the
it's a little
controller.
Game Boy.
It was like a big ass square with like a little nubbies. Like I remember that one. The Dream. I feel
And a
like the
screen in the
Dreamcast.
middle.
Yeah, I feel like the Dreamcast died before I even like could want one. Like I feel like that's
Yeah.
what it was.
It wasn't super popular.
I had like the regular Sega, like the
Like the
black
Genesis? Or-
Genesis. Yeah, the black one.
Yeah,
The black
sure.
one. Yeah.
I had one of those too, and that I could pick 5 games from that too, But
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it a tight 5-ish list. But you had Halo 2 on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Same. That I got my original Xbox, and I think I skipped actually Combat Evolved at first. Went
Yeah.
straight to Halo 2 because I was yearning for it. I was pining for Halo 2 at the time. Finally got an Xbox, got Halo 2, played it with my dad, and we just go into like a random map and just 1v1 each other, and I just clown on him. Like
Yeah.
he was so bad. And then got to a point where I had like neighbors who gamed. I went over to a neighbor's house, realized I'm bad. I'm really bad. I was getting schooled,
Yeah.
and that made me feel bad. So I just stuck to the campaign for a while after that. But I didn't have internet once again, and so I didn't really play online Halo 2 unless I was at a friend's house or something. But I really enjoyed when I got to play it. That really hit me hard playing multiplayer with other people.
Yeah.
Being able to be better than some people, and I know they're real people too.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It was easy. I think to me, it was easily the best online experience of any game that's ever existed, ever. I think
Oh, to this day?
to this day, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think now it's just like it's just like an obvious thought, and then they're not putting a whole lot of work into it. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be multiplayer online. So
But back then, with the matchmaking and seeing all the players pop up on the list,
Yeah.
and like,
it's like a whole
Uh,
experience.
yeah, and it was new, you
Yeah.
know?
It was new.
It felt
Yeah.
new. It was
Yeah.
really cool. And my last one, I feel like I've said 60 games, but my last one, I was trying to debate between Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2
Mm.
and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and I think it's Call of Duty 4 Modern
Oh.
Warfare for me.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember I had an Xbox 360. It was old, but it didn't get the red ring of death, and so it was still kicking.
Nice.
And I had a neighbor. I'd go over to their house, and we'd play games. We'd play Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and I would just kind of try to get over there all the time to keep playing it. One day, they were older than me. These neighbor kids, they were older than me, and I think they were over it, or maybe at that time it was already an older game. I don't know, but they just gave me the game.
Nice.
And I was like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And I brought it home
Score.
and devoured it, dude.
Yeah.
And I would try to steal my neighbor's Wi-Fi and try to get into the internet to play online any chance I could get. Eventually, I had friends at school that had it too, and we ended up trying to party up and playing custom games like Michael Myers or Border Patrol or whatever,
Yeah.
and just have a good time. And that I mean, Halo's one thing, but that really opened my eyes to like gaming or like hanging out with my friends
Yeah.
within a virtual world outside of school or real life. But
Yeah.
we're basically talking on the phone and just having a good time. And it was a lot of fun. And that really blew my mind back in the day.
And I'm thinking about it, like it's probably like we don't have like a major age difference, but I feel like there's enough to where it was like Halo 2 is not in the same line as what it was for you. Like I feel like Call of Duty 4 is probably because it was like in that realm, whereas at my time it was Halo 2. Like I feel like
Yeah,
that's probably the difference, because I didn't get as far into the Call of Duty games, but I think it's because I was like still holding on to like Halo until Black Ops came out.
sure.
And then when Black
Yeah,
Ops came out, then I switched over.
I don't know if it's as much an age difference as if it's just like who I surrounded myself with. Because
Mm,
there was a time when Halo was the shit, and
yeah.
then there was a time when Call of Duty became the top dog, and
Yeah.
I would play whatever everybody else was playing because I wanted to play with my friends. Um, but yeah, Call of Duty really enamored me, so I kind of stuck with that
Yeah.
train. But then I mean, Halo 3, dude, Halo 3 Forge, come on, that was like Halo 3 multiplayer and Forge was huge. That would be number 6 on my list
Mm,
probably because I spent so much time in Forge custom games, doing the warthog races, mongoose races, all sorts of stuff, making the elephant go flying up in the air.
yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
glitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
You put
Yeah.
all the fusion coils in the elephant,
Yeah.
and then you step back and blow it up, and then it gets all framey and it goes flying, flipping up in the air. Oh, so cool.
I feel like I think I just like missed Halo 3. Like I mean I
Oh,
played it, but like I just feel like it wasn't like, I don't remember when it came out, but uh
oh, wait,
yeah, 2007.
7.
Yeah. So I think like specifically like we had moved on to Call of
Yeah.
Duty at that, like my friend group.
When did Black Ops 1 come out?
That's what I'm trying to see. Black Ops.
Because Black Ops was huge too, but I was always
Yeah.
more of an Infinity Ward kind of guy.
It was 2010.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I feel like that's like, I didn't have anybody that really played like Forge or anything like that, but I remember like kind of playing it like later on, but it wasn't like a huge thing for me.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, the custom stuff, the user generated content just blew my mind. Like
yeah.
other people made this, and then I would try to make something, and it was so tedious and boring.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll just go back to the browser and see what else other people made.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like we owe a lot to games. Maybe
For
I'll speak for
sure.
myself. I owe my life to games probably. I don't know where I'd be without being able to disconnect from the chaos around me and just focus in on whatever I'm playing.
Oh yeah.
So I love video games. I'm glad that I was given the opportunities I was given to play them, and I think it's nice to pay homage to that every now and then.
For sure. I don't think I probably would have ever made any friends outside of that. Like outside of video games. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I would have done like outside of it. Like it's sort of been the only like hobby
Mm.
that I've ever sort of like picked up and like have held on to and like kept going with, and everything else is sort of like fell away after a little while after it like loses its thing. But gaming has sort of like always been there as something, and I've always been able to easily make friends like within that realm. And outside of that, like less so, because I don't feel like I don't have as much in common with everybody
Well,
else.
back, we grew up in an age where video games weren't cool necessarily. You know what I mean? Like there was the stigma against video games was that it was nerdy and lame and like a waste of time even. I think
Yeah.
the waste of time kind of prevails now, but against those odds, we still decided to love video games.
Oh
And so
yeah.
anybody else that you made friends with that liked video games, it's like, man, like you had that connection already.
Yeah.
Definitely easier to make friends via those shared loves of video games. But I remember in like 5th grade, 4th grade, something like that. This kid Patrick, I'm just gonna say his name. This kid Patrick was told to put his Game Boy away, and he threw a fit. And so the teacher came and she was like, hand it over, and he was like, no, and she was like, it's just a video game, and he screamed at the top of his lungs, young child temper tantrum, it's not just a game, it's my life.
It's real.
And I even at that age, I remember thinking like, okay, buddy, tone it down. Because that's a little much, right? I don't
I
know,
don't
but
know.
it
Like
but
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 it
to
could
an
have been.
extent, for him, I don't know what's going on in his life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so maybe for him it is. And so
Yeah.
I laugh about it, but at that time he really felt that, and he let his emotions show. I love that so much.
Yeah.
But it is a little silly. But it's funny. I
You
don't
never
know.
know. It might have been the only thing
You
he
never know.
had, you know?
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video
But
games, man.
video games, love them or hate them? Nope, just
No.
love them.
Yeah, just love them. If you
Just
hate
love 'em.
them, get out of here. We don't
Yeah,
want that.
what are you doing here?
We don't.
What
We
are you
don't want
doing
that.
here, huh?
We don't want that here. That's not what this is about.
Nope. But that's about it for the episode tonight.
It
You got any
is,
final
yeah.
words or anything? Any final statements about your love of video games or anything we talked about today?
It's nice to like think back and on these games. Like I think we sort of talked a little bit about like the nostalgia thing before, but I like it. I like thinking about the games. Yeah, I like them.
And now look at us. We're paying our galactic developers on Mars to make us a game now.
I
You
know.
what I mean?
I didn't think I'd
how,
get
how
here.
far we've come.
I didn't think I'd get here. You know what I mean?
No.
I didn't think I'd be here right now, doing episode 57 of the Mustache Ride podcast, talking about old video games.
And episode 57 is in the books. Thank you,
In the
everybody,
books.
for watching. We appreciate you being here. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments down below in the YouTube version of this, or contact us at mustacheridepod@gmail.com. Hit up our Discord. Go join the Discord and join the discourse in the Discord.
Yeah. And like our newest short and leave a comment on it and raise it in the algorithm.
Yeah, and watch the episodes because we want to get the view count up. Leave it on with the sound on or something, because like our retention is like 2 minutes. People watch our episodes for like 2 minutes.
The more famous we are, the more you get of us. And if
That's right,
baby. If you want less of us, then just I guess you don't have to do anything.
Well, but if you want more of Tooth, you can reach him at his personal Twitch, Twitter, YouTube channels.
Yes.
All those links will be in the description below, as well as my personal links to my Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and whatnot channels. Check the description down below of the YouTube video.
Check them out.
And thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.